screw. Reinstall the sheathing and tighten the clamp. Make sure cables are actuating smoothly and install the knob clamp with 2 screws. During final assembly, after paint and upholstery, we will cut the cables right at the front of the clamp. But for now, during construction, cut the cables at the rear of the clamp. This will allow you to make a fresh cut during the final assembly and will eliminate the need for new cables. Slide the pull knob over the cables and tighten the set screws. The knob will pull out of the base and rest on the edge, holding the lock pins in the open position. After final assembly, the cap screw will rest on the edge. Test the system. At this point, the hood should be operating smoothly from both sides. Stage 5, the side panels. Hold the side panels up to the car and place a spring clamp at the front and the rear. The spring clamps will hold the panel and allow you to make adjustments. Line up the front bottom corner and set the gap if possible. Now align the rear. Once the bottom of the panel is aligned with the body, clamp tight with C-clamps and scribe along the top of the back portion of the receiver blocks. Remove the clamps and place the panel on the bench. Place a straight edge on the marks and scribe a line. Measure the depth at both ends. You want a 3/4 of an inch to 7/8 of an inch flange. These panels we are trimming to 7/8 of an inch. If you do not have a shear and a sheet metal brake, you can go to your local heating and air conditioning shop to trim and bend the flange. Always make a test bend with a piece of scrap 18-gauge steel to make sure the brake is set properly to make a tight bend. When bending the top flange, you must set the panel in the brake and have the flange protruding. Placing the flange in the machine would make your panel too short after it's bent. Hang the panel on the edge of the hinge tube and mark the area to be cut out around the grill shell and the cowling. If the rear of the panel is hanging over the body, you will want to mark and trim it as well. Leave the panel 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch long. With the corners trimmed, position the hood and place a spring clamp at the center of the hinge receivers. Center the panel, then mark it at the step and the front of the receivers. Use a square to lay out the area to be cut away. Scribe a line right at the edge of the panel where the roll of the bend begins. Cut these sections out, then clean up the edges and test fit the panel. Step 16. Fastening the side panels. The top flange gets fastened with 3 screws. Mark the position for the screws, center punch the marks, drill 1/8 inch holes and countersink them so the screws set flush. The flathead screws will strip out if we simply drill a hole, so a dimple must be made first. You could remove the tube and use a hammer and a punch for this operation, or you may wish to make yourself a set of center punch vice grips. This tool really comes in handy. Drill a 7/64 inch pilot hole and pre-install the flathead screws. Place the T-bolt just above the body line and mark where it sets against the flanges at the front and rear. Drill a 1/4 inch hole and slide the T-bolt through. Inset it from the body 1/16 of an inch and mark the end about 1/2 inch from the flange. Use the screw cutter on your wire strippers to shorten the T-bolt. Install a nut halfway down the threads, then bolt it to the flange of the cowl and the grill shell. Install the top screws, then hold the panel against the T-bolts and mark them. With the panel off the car, clamp the T-bolts and weld in place. Install the panel and adjust the nuts to align the panel. Once the side panels are installed, put the top panel back on. Stage 6. Final fit. With all the panels installed, it's time to fit the gaps. Use 3/4 inch tape to mark where the hood must be trimmed. Here we've laid tape on the cowl so you can see the gap we want. Tape the entire hood, even the spots that do not need trimming. Step 18. Trimming the panels. Use one of these 60 grit flat abrasive wheels. They remove a lot of metal fast, but they grind as smooth as silk. You may be tempted to use shears or some other tool to trim the hood. Don't do it. You've come too far to screw this project up now. Take the time to go buy one of these wheels. You'll be glad you did. Grind the panels a bit, then press the tape down. Grind a little, then press again. Continue to grind and press as you go. Keep the wheel moving back and forth so you do not heat the panel up. The panel must never become discolored. This process will allow you to grind right up to the tape without the tape moving, burning, or peeling. See how clean the wheel leaves the edge? Once all the panels are trimmed, they're ready for the paint shop. Rubber seals for the cowling and the grill shell won't be installed until after the paintwork. These seals are available from Hagan Street Rods or your local Hagan dealer.